You probably learned in school that mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cell. That's true, but it's only a small piece of what they actually do. Your mitochondria are not just making energy, they are deciding where that energy goes. They are constantly receiving signals from the rest of your body about eating, exercising, stress, inflammation, infection, and based on those signals, they decide what gets powered and what gets put on hold. Healthy mitochondria are crucial to how you feel every single day. That's why nearly every longevity protocol you hear about comes back to mitochondrial health. Stick with me until the end of this video because I'm going to tell you about a patient of mine, a woman in her 40s who went from being completely healthy to barely able to get through the workday. She had crushing fatigue, brain fog, she got short of breath just walking. She stopped exercising for over 2 years. She saw her family doctor, all the tests were normal. She saw a cardiologist, normal. She saw a lung specialist, normal. By the time she got to me, she had been told repeatedly that there was nothing wrong. What we eventually found is something millions of people have and don't know it. I'm Dr. Barron, a board-certified endocrinologist with over 20 years of experience. So in this video, I'm going to give you 7 things you can do to make your mitochondria work better. Before I get into the list, I want to give you a way to picture this. Think of your mitochondria as the kitchen in a busy hotel. They make ATP, the energy coin of every cell in your body, just like a hotel kitchen makes the food for the rest of the hotel. The hotel is like your body. The rooms, the ballroom, the conference room, the restaurant, every part of that hotel is waiting on food from the kitchen. ATP is what your cells run on. Your brain, your heart, your muscles, your immune system, all of them are standing at the kitchen window waiting for their order. And the ovens and stoves, that's a mitochondrial membrane. That's where the ATP actually gets produced. Keep that hotel kitchen in mind because for each of the 7 tips, I'm going to show you exactly which part of the kitchen we're fixing. Number 1 is protect your sleep. Let's start with the one people underestimate the most. While you're sleeping, your body is cleaning out the mitochondria that are damaged and repairing the rest. The repair work happens most efficiently when you're asleep. This is the part of the hotel kitchen nobody sees. After the last dinner service, the kitchen closes. The cleaning service comes in, scrubs everything down, takes out the garbage, and fixes the burner that has been acting up. Now, picture a kitchen that never closes. Nobody ever cleans it. Nobody fixes anything. Within a few weeks, the kitchen falls apart. That's what happens with chronic poor sleep. You're not just tired the next day. The damage keeps building up and never gets cleared. The general recommendation is 7 to 9 hours a night, and keeping a fairly consistent schedule is also very important. Number 2 is exercise. Exercise is one of the most powerful signals you can send to your mitochondria, and different types of exercise do different things. Interval training has the strongest evidence for actually building new mitochondria. That means short bursts of harder effort with recovery in between. This doesn't have to be intense. It can be walking faster or cycling faster for a minute, then slowing back down and repeating that a few times. Steady aerobic exercise, brisk walking, swimming, cycling also builds mitochondria and improves how well they function. 20 to 30 minutes most days is good. Then there is strength training. Muscle is where most of your mitochondria live, so building and maintaining muscle protects your ability to make energy. Now think about what's happening in that hotel kitchen. When orders starts pouring in night after night, the kitchen responds. They bring on more staff. They open more stations. They get better at handling the volume. And when the orders stop coming, the kitchen scales back. Your mitochondria work the same way. They respond to what you ask of them with consistent healthy training. Number 3 is food. Your mitochondria need 2 things from food: material to build with and ingredients to cook with. Omega-3s help build the kitchen itself. Your mitochondrial membranes are made largely of fat, and omega-3s help keep them intact. You'll find them in fatty fish like salmon and sardines, and in olive oil, avocado, and nuts. Protein does both jobs. It repairs the machinery and feeds into the energy pathways. Chicken, fish, eggs, beans, and Greek yogurt are all good sources. B vitamins are what the enzymes inside your mitochondria need in order to work. You get those from leafy greens, eggs, and whole grains. Number 4. Now let's talk about supplements. Your mitochondria makes ATP through a series of chemical steps called the Krebs cycle. That's the recipe the kitchen follows over and over all day long. A few supplements work directly in that process. Your body makes most of them on its own, but production drops as we get older, so taking them is like restocking a shelf that's run low. NAD is essential to the Krebs cycle. It's an injection, which is a prescription and comes from a compounding pharmacy. Alpha-lipoic acid is a cofactor for enzymes in the Krebs cycle, and it also works as an antioxidant inside the mitochondria. L-carnitine helps transport fatty acid into the mitochondria, where they can be used to produce ATP. And CoQ10 works in the next step of energy production, after the Krebs cycle. Statins deplete it, so if you're on a statin, it's often recommended to supplement with CoQ10. Number 5 is to manage your chronic stress. Chronic stress is like a hotel that never has a quiet night. The kitchen never closes, never gets cleaned, never gets repaired. Push a kitchen that hard for long enough and things start breaking down. Long-term stress hormones affect how well your mitochondria perform. Under constant stress, energy gets diverted towards survival and away from repair. Here's how you can help. Sleep and exercise are already on this list, and both are among the most effective things you can do for stress. Slow belly breathing with a long breath out. That long exhale is what calms the system down. Mindfulness meditation, even 10 minutes a day. Morning light. Getting outside early helps reset your body's stress rhythm for the whole day. Time in nature and real time with people you enjoy being around. You're telling the kitchen the rush is over. Time to clean up and restock. Number 6 is antioxidants. Every kitchen makes some smoke when it cooks. That's normal. But when the kitchen is under pressure and running too hot, food starts to burn. The smoke gets thick and the alarms go off. That's what happens inside your mitochondria under stress. They always produce some free radicals. That's part of making energy. But when the system is overworked, they leak more free radicals. And those free radicals damage the body, including the mitochondria themselves. Antioxidants are what clears that smoke. Berries, green tea, coffee, olive oil, dark leafy greens, citrus, peppers, nuts and seeds, clove and oregano are all great antioxidants. Number 7 is to clear out the damaged mitochondria. Some kitchen equipment cannot be repaired. A kitchen that holds on to broken equipment is crowding itself. The oven that doesn't heat, the freezer that doesn't stop cooling, the mixer that won't turn on. It's all taking up space and getting in the way of efficiency. Our bodies have a process for clearing out damaged mitochondria. It's called mitophagy. Clearing out the old ones makes room for healthy ones to work. A few things support it. Exercise, which does double duty here. It builds new mitochondria and helps clear out the old ones. Sleep, which is when most of that cleanup happens. Intermittent fasting, when you go long enough without eating, usually somewhere between 14 and 16 hours. Your body is able to stop focusing on digesting and shifting into repair and cleanup mode. For most people, this just means finishing dinner earlier and pushing breakfast later. And neurolythin A. Your gut bacteria make it from walnuts and berries, but not everyone's gut produces much of it, and that ability tends to decline with age. It's also available as a supplement. Now let me tell you about the patient I mentioned at the beginning. She was in her 40s. Before all this, she was healthy and active. Then came the fatigue. She had to push herself through every workday. Simple tasks took much longer than they used to because of brain fog and trouble concentrating. She got short of breath and achy after minimal activity. She saw her family doctor and a few specialists, and every test came back normal. We finally figured out she had long-haul COVID. She barely remembered having COVID symptoms a couple of years earlier, and the fatigue started shortly after. And this is not just a theory. Researchers have taken muscle samples from long COVID patients and looked at them directly, and the mitochondria were not working properly. There is no single test that confirms this. The diagnosis is clinical, based on the timeline and the pattern of symptoms once everything else had been ruled out. But her lab results supported the diagnosis. Her COVID spike antibody level was very high, which tells us her immune system had been significantly engaged with this virus. And her testing showed reactivated Epstein-Barr virus. That's the monovirus, which almost everyone carries dormant, and it tends to wake up when the immune system is under real strain. The COVID virus doesn't just make you sick and leave. It gets into the mitochondria directly. Viral proteins bind to the machinery and damage it. And that damage can persist long after the virus itself is gone. So two things were happening in her kitchen at the same time. The equipment was broken, the virus had damaged it, and nobody had repaired it. And whatever ATP the mitochondria could actually turn out was going straight to the immune system. Remember, your mitochondria don't just make energy, they decide where it goes. In her case, the immune system was in a fight that never fully resolved, so that's where the energy kept getting sent. It's like if the hotel suddenly booked a large endocrine conference. The kitchen doesn't shut down, but everything gets redirected to the conference room, and the rest of the hotel waits. So we focused on mitochondrial support. Sleep, stress management, a diet built around the foods we talked about, the supplements that support ATP production, CoQ10, alpha-lipoic acid, and L-carnitine. And we added prescription NAD injections, 50 milligrams twice a week, along with TMG pills to support methylation. We also added low-dose naltrexone, or LDN. At high doses, naltrexone is used for addiction treatment, but at very low doses, it works completely differently. It calms the immune system down and reduces the chronic inflammation that was keeping her mitochondria from recovering. Within about a month, she started feeling better. By 2 to 3 months, she was thrilled to be back to her baseline, active and productive. Thank you very much for watching. If you found this helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. Was there anything on the list that surprised you? Or is there one that you have the hardest time with? Please let me know in the comments below. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and not medical advice. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.